All right, back with you live, ladies and gentlemen. So, I'm saying, hey, forgiveness was the message I wanted to hear at a funeral. Love, kindness, celebrating a man and his works, realizing that he's not more important than the rest of us, but he did have a great influence, and he turned and pointed us all to Christ to the best of his ability. He taught men how to be men. He did some wonderful things. At a funeral, I like to see that. Now, James wants to kind of ratchet up. Where he wants to go, I'm not sure, and that's really the question and the problem that we're having with all this. For example, James, you could do what you want to do, and here's how you could do it. Ready? There's now reports in the Epoch Times. Headline says, reports of funding, paid and coordinated participation in recent riots have spurred discussion about the nature of protests in the United States. The Epoch Times is so concerned about this that they're putting together a poll, and they're gathering opinions on the legitimacy, transparency, and accountability of such protests, along with appropriate responses by authorities. The poll results, they say, will be published on October 21st, this Saturday. Now, here's the issue, or the kind of the thing for me. So you look at that and you go, okay, you got riots, you got rent-a-riot. So if you want to ratchet things up and put, hundreds, thousands of people on the street that can carry Trump's exact message to the world, James, you can hire a rent-a-riot, buddy, and you can set it right up, get her done if you want to do that. But that's really what's being debated right now is, hey, what about all these paid rioters? And here's my problem. When are we going to get paid on this? Now they're looking into George Soros. Fine. I told you to look into George Soros last time Trump was elected for 4 years. Okay. He said, leave Soros alone. But at the end of the day, whether it's Soros's money, whether it's Bill Gates' money, whether it's who knows who, dark money from political operatives, we can't even know. We can't follow the money. They have protected themselves so much, so you can't know where the money. So at the end of the day, the question is, how come none of these rioters are getting arrested? If we're going to talk about this and say, well, a rent-a-riot's not the same as a peaceful protest, well, a peaceful protest is not the same as peacefully assemble, at some point we're just talking around in circles. And are we going to really get anything done with this or not, James? This is what I mean by it. Everybody wants to ratchet up, but when I ask you where we're going to ratchet it up to, nobody knows. Nobody has an answer. There's like, well, Sam, we got to be bold. We got to do that. What do you want to do? Do you want to rent a riot? Do you want to have TV shows and talk shows about it? Do you want to start arresting people? What needs to happen next in your view?
All right, so this is a great question about these arrests and what's going on and why people aren't, getting stuck into prison. You can send the National Guard in, as Trump is doing, and I like that move. I mean, they're here in Memphis right now, where I live. The National Guard is here, and they are really doing a good job. I mean, it is on the local network affiliate stations and in the local press every day. There's an accounting of how many people were arrested, on what charges. You need a military presence in a place like Memphis that is so violently dangerous, and again, we know why. But the fact of the matter is they are making these arrests. We see it. It is happening. But what is happening after that? Now, you got a big problem. Where's all the violence at, Sam? It is almost exclusively, and there's no doubt about it,
extreme big cities with, questionable leadership.
There you go.
Let's just go there.
That's 100%. So it's Portland, it's Memphis, it's Chicago, it's on and on.
Yeah, and I've been to these places. They're gnarly. They're crazy.
But you just nailed exactly the kinds of places where this violence occurs. You don't see this in small Main Street USA towns in Utah or
well, then you're Jason Aldean. You write a
wherever.
song basically not in my town or whatever that thing was called, saying, "Hey, try that in a small town. It ain't going to go well for you, buddy. We'll arrest you and take care of business. That won't be happening." And then they attacked him relentlessly. And thank heavens for Jason Aldean and his lovely wife standing their ground for liberty. But there you go, right?
Well, the problem is, though, so you can send in, this is what I was getting at, you can send into the National Guard to Memphis, to Chicago, to Portland, but then what happens? When you arrest these people, they go through the criminally corrupt court systems with the Soros ideologue as your district attorney, and they are immediately just churned out, and that's it. Right. So unless they get them on federal charges, unless you can arrest these people on some sort of a federal charge, they are always just going to go in through the revolving door and come right back out on the street, no matter how many times you arrest them.
Federal charges aren't doing much, though. Most of these people aren't even in jail or anything else that are committed all kinds of crimes, right?
Well, well, this is a problem. If everybody that was actually belonged in jail was in jail, you need a lot more prisons.
Let me make the point this way to kind of help you understand. U.S. Representative Jim Jordan, now chair of the House Judiciary Committee, has demanded testimony from ex-special counsel Jack Smith regarding actions taken during his tenure that Jordan says undermines the criminal justice system. Now, when you undermine the integrity of the system, James, that's a bad thing. But it's only bad culturally. There's no criminal related to that you can really point to. Jordan accuses Smith of attempting to silence former President Donald Trump, orchestrating a massive raid, an abusive raid, if you will, pressuring defense counsel with promises, listen, with promises of political patronage. So now it's all political, will help you kind of elections, and then manipulating key evidence. Smith's actions are said to have undermined the integrity of the criminal justice system. Jordan's demands come after several of Smith's team members allegedly failed to cooperate with the committee's probe into the Biden Justice Department scandals. Documents have also revealed that Smith's team surveilled members of Congress, right? Accessed phone records. Arctic frost is the term they're using for this operation. Jordan seeking details from Smith regarding his appointment, his interactions with the Biden-Harris administration, and the investigations and tactics used during his tenure as counsel. But here's the deal. That's great. So far, we're just babbling. How long have we known Jack Smith is a bad guy? He attacked Steve Stockman literally years ago. He literally has been abusing Donald Trump for years now. And you can say, oh, Sam, we're just starting to work out. You're 10 plus months into your control, buddy. You're about to have midterms where you have nothing to show for your efforts. And now we're going to say Jack Smith is a bad guy. Let's see if he can go before Congress and talk. Are we really at that stage, James? Well, Sam, we got to do due process and justice for him. Okay, but if you're not careful, it's going to be the next Congress. And if you're not careful, it's midterms. You're never going to get Jack on anything if you're not very, very careful. And this is what I'm talking about, James. Everybody wants to ratchet it up. But you've got a criminal like Jack Smith that abuses the president of the United States, literally spied on members of Congress. Okay? The investigations and tactics used, haven't we already figured all that out? His team surveilled members of Congress. Documents show it. An abusive raid already took place. When was the raid, James? Do you remember? On Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago?
A long time ago.
I don't know, 2, 3, I don't know how long ago. Crazy. Okay. Now Jim Jordan's like, hey, man, Jack's a bad guy. Let's have him come before Congress and tell us his story. He's going to tell us the whole truth and nothing but the truth. I'm sure of it. Everybody else that's already gone has basically pled the fifth and said we won't talk. That's how far along we are. So we're going to play kids' gloves. I mean, we don't even have boxing gloves on to protect the punches, buddy. We're so wrapped up in mummy, whatever you want to call it, gauze and it protected to where nobody can even possibly hurt us. We're not even close to getting this guy. Are we?
Well, they certainly went after, the Bush League
Comey.
version
Yeah, they're
of
getting
Jack
after
Smith.
Comey there, buddy, big time. And Comey, he's going down.
They definitely are going after Letitia James, who is the Attorney General of the state of New York, who has done some terrible things. I mean, she went after Trump. She bankrupted Peter Brimelow and Vidair, my friend. And, that is one they're going after. But, this actually goes back to my broader point.
So far, there's been no real consequences, though, right? Letitia James, isn't she running around free right now?
Well, hey, listen, now you're talking more like me. Yeah, they should just
if she committed these crimes and stuff, what if you had done what she's done, James? You'd already be behind bars, buddy.
No.
Don't tell me you wouldn't. You would be. And I would be, right?
This goes back to the fundamental thing. We can even tie this back into the George Washington movie that's coming out. By the way, so many things on George Washington it just deals with, of course, the war, the Revolutionary War in his time as president. I mean, he had a fascinating life, and I look forward to learning more about it. There's a place in Virginia called the Natural Bridge that he found when he was a surveyor for the very early in his career. I mean, he just had a fascinating life. But, I mean, if you go back to that time, Sam, Americans were of broadly one mind, common denominators in terms of faith and language and folkways and history and culture and just all of that stuff. And now there is none of that. I mean, again, do you want to live in a country? Do you want to get along and close the ranks with somebody like Jack Smith? I mean, I'm just saying we are this Tower of Babel right now. One side's going to wipe the other one off the map. That's for sure. And this is something that Lou Moore brought out. And I don't know if the Republicans have the cojones to do it, because we've certainly never seen it happen before.
They don't.
But if there's ever been a time, it's
don't.
now.
The proof
Because
is
if we
in the
don't
pudding.
win
They're
this,
not getting it done. If I saw real signs, I might believe you, but I'm not buying it. Let me give you an example. They say that Jack Smith pressured defense counsel with promises of political patronage. What does that mean, James? If I promise you political patronage, what does that mean?
I don't know. I'd like to get some, though.
James just knows it's lucrative and good. It's either money or special strings pulled to get elected or special strings pulled to gain power. It's not a, like Sam Bushman plan, I don't seek for power, I seek to pull it down. It's not like that, is it? Not a chance. And then attacking Trump, manipulating evidence, trying to silence the former president of the United States. I mean, are you kidding me? And he's still running around free, right? Wow.